I'm making a science fiction series, and I'm going to show you my pre-production checklist, and I'm going to do that right now. Hey guys, it's Courtney Jones here, Made on Mobile TV, and I am a full-time filmmaker helping you get the best, most professional video out of your mobile devices. And I'm excited to announce that I am making a sci-fi series. I've been talking about this for a while now. COVID has gotten in the way of most of what I was planning on doing, but that is starting to loosen up. I'm fully vaccinated, as is my cast and crew. And so we're getting into production. So we're getting into production, which means we're into pre-production. And I wanted to kind of share with you what that means. So let me do this. Let me share with you the teaser. It's actually the opening title sequence of the project. And then I will see you on the other side. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we're getting up to. What do you think? Let me know in the comments and let me know what you think about that. I'm going to go through my pre-production checklist with you. And one of the things that we're going to do is just break up this whole series in the making of. I'm going to take you behind the scenes. I'm going to take you on set, all of these things. But right now, the most important part of production is pre-production. And what that entails is everything that you that you can imagine. I'm going to go through the whole list, but in this series, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about pre-production. We're going to talk about production, the onset stuff, which is I guess all the fun stuff, and then we're going to talk about post-production, which is all the editing and visual effects and sound design and all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to talk about distribution, which means getting it out into the world for people to see. All right. So with that in mind, what I want to do is kind of take you through my workflow. And so here's what we got going on. So pre-production, we're getting ready to shoot, guys. We're creating a series. Not only just going to be for fun, but this is actually hopefully going to be a series that you will see somewhere on TV or some sort of streaming service. But we're shooting the pilot, the pilot for the series, and that is what we're going to do. So right now, let's talk about the elements that we're going to need for pre-production. All right. So the first thing you need is a script. Duh. Right? It sounds, super simplistic, but yes, that is the first thing that you're going to need. You're going to need to put some words on paper. What I use to do my scripts is I use Celtics, and you can go to Celtics.com, CELTX.com. I use Celtics because it's something that it's a workflow that works great for me. It is budgeting, scheduling, scripting, all of your catalogs, like all of that stuff. And I'll run you through all of that here right now. Let's take a look at what Celtics is. Okay. Celtics, in terms of the scripting part, is for this series. This series is called Uprising, and I've got all these episodes. I haven't written them all, so don't let all these things fool you. But here within Celtics, what I can do is I can do all of my episodes, all of my cataloging, all my cast and crew and budget and schedule and all that kind of stuff, and I'll show you all of that. But let's just get right into the script, and I'm going to show you what the script looks like. And it's a script. It's this one I've got a prologue, but it's got everything. It's got all my scenes. It's got the scene numbers, and characters and all that kind of stuff. If you've never seen a script, this is what a script looks like. It puts everything into format for you in the proper format for a script. And it allows you to take all of the script information, like the cast, the characters, rather, the action, the dialogue, all of that kind of stuff, and puts it into the proper format. And then that allows you, to go on to the next levels, which is the, budgeting and scheduling and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I use this. There's iOS apps, there's apps for Windows, etc. But this happens to be where I do it, which is in the browser. So I can get it on all of my devices, right? So that's cool. It just makes my life a whole lot easier. And that's what you need when you're doing a production, because production is so intense, that you want to have as few hiccups as possible, and that's one way, is to have everything in one place, not having to flip all over to different apps and all that kind of stuff. All right, so we got the script. Next thing I want to talk about is, doing revisions. So, you want to revise. Tweaking your script is a good thing, just so you're honing it, you're getting, everything in there that you want, and not having too much excess stuff in there. So this is, I don't know if you can see it because it might be a little too small, but up here in the corner, this is revision 1. And I've only needed to do one revision, and I've been able to share this with my producer, Shannon Dowling, and she's been able to go through and break up the script and do a breakdown of the script, based off of all the revisions that I've done. And then she's gone in and revised a few things to make it make sense for the budgeting and scheduling and all of that kind of stuff. And then the next thing, I mentioned breakdown. So the breaking down of the script, that's something that's done here in Celtics. You go down here to the catalog for the Uprising, and the catalog is all of the elements that you're going to need. All the elements meaning, cast, crew, props, all of that kind of stuff. You can see here, it's got everything. So it's got all the cast, with their pictures and contact information. It's got background actors, etc. It's got locations. It's got props. It's got the sets that we're going to be shooting in. It's got the vehicles and voiceover and any element that you have that you're going to need in your production is in this catalog, and that is what breaking the script down is all about, right? Shannon Dowling, she has done a fantastic job getting me organized, because my brain does not work this way necessarily. It just, which is why I have a program that helps, because if I didn't have this, I'd just be all over the place with trying to budget and schedule and trying to figure out how the whole production is going to work. And then, speaking of budget, I'll flip over to the budgeting screen. We don't have any numbers in here, just because this is, for show. But you can break everything down in terms of in terms of category. So you have camera, the camera crew, the camera department, the labor, the cast. How much every line item is going to cost. Every little bit. Down to the penny, how much it's all going to cost. That's all here in this app. Now, there are plenty of other apps out there that are just for budgeting, just for scheduling, just for script writing. Again, I prefer to have kind of an all-in-one, one-stop shopping sort of program, because everything that I feed into it from the script level to the catalog level goes over to the budget and to the schedule and all of that. So you don't have to jump in and out of different packages to get it done. Talking about the schedule now, this, if you've never seen a production schedule, this is what it looks like, and it may look crazy. So all these over here, these numbers over here, these are the scene numbers. So we're going to be we're going to be shooting this thing pretty much out of order, and that's because there are certain cast members that can be there at certain times, or that we will need. Sometimes we'll need the whole cast and the whole, the whole, like all the extras and all the main cast. And sometimes we're only going to need, 2 or 3 cast members. And so you schedule it, in a way that typically where you have everybody. And then you whittle it down to where, you have the fewest people possible, or you have like the biggest thing that you're going to end on in the day. But this particular software, like others, it allow you to get all of your scenes all scheduled out. So all you need to do is show up on the day, and you look at the call sheet and you're like, okay, this is what we're shooting and this is what we're going to shoot next. Right. So so that's budgeting, scheduling, and scripting. So these are all things that you need to do during a production. So I'm thankful to have Shannon helping me break this down, and we'll talk about crew later, but that's another thing. So we talked about budgeting your project. Now, money isn't everything. So there are projects that cost tens and hundreds of millions, and there are projects that cost absolutely zero. Either way is fine. If you're lucky enough to have hundreds of millions of dollars, then good on you. Good for you. Go forth and do it and do it well. This is kind of a no budget project, and that's great, but we're still going to get some great quality out of this. And one of the reasons why we're able to do that is because we're going to shoot this on mobile, right? So mobile, as the show is all about, made on mobile. Mobile allows you to kind of save a lot of time, a lot of money, and allows you to kind of move really fast and really nimble. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing it, and so that affects the budget. And the things that you usually budget for obviously are cast and crew and food and all those things, and so budget, but know that money isn't everything, and you can do a whole lot with a very little. So scouting, we scouted this location that we're shooting at, and it's an amazing location. It's actually a bunch of shipping containers that were cobbled together. This is a dystopian sort of project. The production design was built into this location because we couldn't afford to do it any other way right now. When you get a location like this, you have to do 2 things at the same time. You have to, 1, scout your location. That's going to work for you in your production. But then 2, do what's called a tech scout. So we've gone back to this location a couple of times to, number 1, see if the location is cool and what we want. But number 2 is that we were looking for all the technical gotchas. So when we went to this location, there's all kinds of metal, there's all kinds of machinery, there's, the lighting that's there already, is it close to the road? Is there a lot of construction that's going on, somewhere, nearby? You have to take in account of all those things, and you got to know where you're going to, if you're going to lay some cable down, or if you're going to run extension cords, you should know where every every part of your set is, so if there is a problem, you can overcome it before you start shooting. So a tech scout, incredibly important. So go to the location, take your camera that you're going to shoot with you, and get some test shots. And I just walked with my producer around the set, and we just looked at where we were going to shoot and said, okay, well, this is a great place to put this particular scene, and this is a great place to put this scene. And if I put the scene here, then this lighting is already built in. So all I need to do is, bring in X amount of other lighting, so get to the location and know what you're getting into before you start shooting. Okay. The next thing is cast. Get the best cast you can get, even if it's just you. But get the best cast you can get. So you can write the best words ever. And then if you put those words into the wrong mouths, you're done. So get the best actors you can get. I was lucky enough to have Shannon, who works, with a lot of the actors around in the local area, and have worked with them, in theater and everything else. She was a great resource for that, and she got the best and the best of the best. And I'm really thankful for that. Crew, get the best you can get, even if it's just you. So this is a very small crew. I mean, if anybody knows anything about me and how I do things with, I err on the side of minimalism in terms of, crew. So, I'm directing it and shooting it. I'll be doing some of the sound because I'm setting myself up to do that, but we will have somebody running a boom pole for some of the other audio. And then Shannon also, she happens to be one of the characters in the production, but she only has, in this episode, she only has one line. So her job is going to be making sure that this thing runs as smoothly as possible. And we have a COVID safety officer that's going to be there for us, and all of that. So we're doing as minimal a crew as we can possibly do, to keep everybody happy, healthy, and safe. Right. So that's what we need on this sort of project. Shot list, storyboards, and previs. Have an idea of what you want to do before you show up, because if you show up and you don't really have much of an idea of what you want to do and how you want to do it, and especially if you're trying to get people in and out of your scenes and all of that, and you might want to have an idea of the different angles that you want, because more angles means more time. More time usually means more budget. More budget means bad. So get it done as fast as you can, but the way you do that is prep. And that's what pre-production is for. So know what you want before you get to set, and that way you're going to make your life and everybody else's lives so much easier. Okay. And storyboards and previs help with that. The scheduling to get everybody in and out. You don't want people there for longer than they need to be. I mean, sir, granted, some people are going to want to just hang around because, being on set is fun. Let's face it. It's cool. You don't want to wring people dry, especially on day one. You want to be able to get in, get out, and keep people happy, and I like to shoot fast. I know when I've got my takes. I try to do a minimum of takes, and that's because I usually have really good actors that can just get on the set and nail it. But you want to give yourself time to, during the schedule, you want to give yourself time to rehearse, to block and rehearse, so blocking meaning you want to, know where everybody is going to go in the scene. It's like, Johnny's going to be standing over here, and then he crosses over to Susie and they talk over here, and so all of those, every setup that you need to do, meaning, every camera angle that you do, is time and usually money. So schedule is a big deal. So you can schedule everybody, and schedule your shots and how many shots you're going to need and all of that kind of stuff. You can schedule it down to, within the hour and be good. But, moving fast and using mobile to move fast is a great thing. So try to do that as much as you can. The other fun stuff is gear. So get your gear This one, it's going to be minimalist gear. It's going to be my iPhone 12 Pro Max with my conversion lenses that I put on there. It's going to be my iPads plural, because I'm going to have a couple of iPads, one of which is going to be running LumaFusion at all times, and I'm going to be transferring stuff to LumaFusion so I can see what's going on. If I want to shoot something and then throw it in LumaFusion, then I can look at it on a bigger screen and see, okay, am I getting what I want, and all of that. And so that way I can just move. I can just move and be fast. And then I'm going to have minimal lighting, because the lighting that is there in the location, there's good lighting. I'm going to put people in the pools of light, but then I'm going to have other LED lights that are, like cinema quality LED lights, and I'm going to just have them either on the stand, and then actually some of them are magnetic, and then I can just stick up a light, and then just keep going. Right. So get the right gear for your production. Do you need a Red camera or an RE or, a Fujifilm or whatever? Okay, all those things are great. This is a mobile production. I want to prove that mobile is ready for prime time. And so I'm just going to have my mobile device with me, and I'm just going to do it and get my project done. And no fuss, no muss, or no muss, no fuss, whatever it is, no problems when I'm using my mobile devices, right? So get the right gear for the job. Don't try to get the best camera on the planet, because that kind of will screw you down the line if you don't do the next thing, which is understand your post-production workflow. So your camera, your gear kind of plays into your workflow. Now, I am, as I've mentioned before, I'm going to be editing this project using LumaFusion, and my workflow is going from LumaFusion and taking certain, because this is a sci-fi series, certain clips into Adobe After Effects, and I have plugins and all of that kind of stuff that I'm going to use to get from LumaFusion into After Effects. But then, I'm going to round trip that back in using Frame.io back onto the timeline within LumaFusion. It's a great workflow. It's the workflow that works for me, and I think it's a very professional workflow. Obviously, Frame.io, if people are familiar with that, Frame.io is an incredibly powerful tool for if you're shooting on an 8K Red or if you're shooting on an iPhone. It can scale, as big or as small as you need it. But that's my workflow. But what I'm doing now is I'm testing all of my gear, going, one step back up, talking about the gear. I'm testing my gear. I'm testing my camera. I'm testing LumaFusion. I'm testing Frame.io before I get to the shoot, and then figure out that, this camera can't do what I need it to do, but I've tested it now. So I know when I show up to set that, that it's going to do exactly what I need it to do, and that I'm going to get everything that I need. So those are, the broader strokes for getting your production done. I know I kind of went fast, but that's the overview. But I'm going to be doing more and more of these up until and past the shoot, and even on the shoot, I'm going to try to do some live streams and all that kind of stuff from the set if I possibly can, if Wi-Fi will let me. but yeah. So anyway, I've got everything that I need to do a production, and so do you. You don't need permission to create your vision. Everything that you've got right now in your pocket is all you need to make a production. So go out there and shoot something really amazing, and just go out there and do it now. There's no reason for you to not have for you to not go out and shoot, and for you to think that I don't have anything to do a professional shoot with. That's crazy talk. You have everything that you need in your pocket. So just go out there and do something great. All right, guys, I will see you on the next one. I love you guys like bacon, and I'll talk to you soon.